Good morning, good afternoon, welcome to the new week. Happy Monday. We go into autumn this week, so as we get later into the week, we'll be celebrating a couple of things. Tomorrow is the International Day of Peace, and Wednesday is the autumn equinox. So we have a couple of special sets coming up in the midweek, and then some new stuff coming later in the week that we're bringing into the lineup for the first time. Today we're going to do a run quickly through a set that we do relatively often, every couple of weeks at least. It's called Between Heaven and Earth, and it's used to open up the extraordinary meridians. The movements are very simple, very flowing, very gentle, very breath focused, which is key as we move into the next elemental dominant season, which is metal. So let's begin today. Feet shoulder width apart. We're going to take our hands, hand over hand, and just place them below our belly. Just kind of go in a couple inches below the belly button. Close your eyes. Begin to deepen out the breath, drawing the air in through your nose if you're able, and then out through either the mouth or the nose. Breathing deeply into the belly. And then with the hands over one another, just begin to circle the belly. Just a gentle massage. Go either direction, take a few each way. And we call this movement activating the center. Our lower belly, we call our lower dantian, our energy center. This short little sequence makes us feel grounded and connected. And let's take our circles the other way. Your connection seems a little sketchy this morning. My little indicator meters are indicating that the connection is not very good today, so we are also recording locally as well as in the cloud. And we'll pick the one that looks the best and we'll post that one out. Alright, let your hands drop to your sides into this neutral position we call Wuji. So feet are about shoulder width apart, knees are soft, upper body is erect. You can imagine your head being pulled up by a string to lengthen the neck, forcing your chin to tuck back just a little bit. And the arms are just hanging naturally, with a little bit of space underneath the arms. You think of holding a golf ball or a tennis ball or something beneath your arms. Now let's let the hands float up close to the body and bring them up into the prayer position, but not touch it. And now let's take a breath in. On the out breath, move both palms out from one another. Long out breath as we first gaze over one hand, and then let the head come across and gaze over the other hand. Draw the hands back into that starting position, and then out again as we breathe out, now changing sides, looking first over one hand, and then over the other, drawing the hands back in. Now put hands top and bottom, and same format, breathing out, look up and look down, and the hands back together, and now let the other hand float to the top, breathing out, press palms apart from one another, first looking up at the upper hand, and then down the lower hand. As we breathe in, hands come back together, returning to the original prayer position. Now, front and back. Breathing out, looking behind, looking ahead, drawing the hands back together as we breathe in, breathing out, going to the other side. Breathe out, long breath out as we gaze over each hand. And then draw the hands back in. and flatten the palms and let them float down. We move on from expanding the body center to the microcosmic orbit. Hands float up, palms turn over at the top. One more time. Breathing in as we rise. Breathing out as the hands float down. And we'll get ready to reverse direction, traveling the microcosmic orbit. Now pulling the energy up our front, over the crown of the head, and down the back. One more time. And again, let's reverse direction, drawing the energy up the back, over the crown of the head, washing down the front. One more time. And we'll balance that out by again turning palms up, reversing direction, lifting, spiraling, pressing down, drawing the energy up the front of our body, over the crown of the head, and down the back. Turning to the side, hands come front and back, palms facing the body. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. We trace the sash meridian one more time, breathing in on this side. I'm going to breathe out and hold. And then breathe in here. And breathe out, coming back. Palms continue to face the body. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. And relax back to center. Breathing in. Hands float up and then elbows fold in, hands come down to hover above the shoulders. A couple of natural breaths here in this position. This one's called roots and branches, so feet stay firmly rooted to the floor while the branches reach skyward. Take a breath in. Let your body dip down as you do, and then as you breathe out, press overhead. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. Let's do one more. Remember, this position will come back to us shortly. Let's relax down. Hands come to the hips. Put all your weight on one side, step out with the other foot, and then spiral that foot. As we begin to spiral the energy upward. And take a few turns in each direction, working around the ankle, but letting the spiral work up the entire leg. And change direction. The spiraling motion is deeply embedded in nature. You find it everywhere. Let that side relax, shift the weight over to it. And now with the foot that's empty, that one step out and begin to spiral. A few turns in each direction. And then relax back in the center, hip circles. So head stays stationary, hips turn. Either direction, will go both ways. Just breathing naturally through this whole spiraling sequence. Nice, deep, long breaths, full conscious out breaths. And let's take a few in the other direction. relax back to center. One hand float up. And we spiral, stirring the clouds, drawing circles in either direction. We'll take both. I'm starting clockwise and then turn them around, draw the circles the other direction. Get a few each way. Let that hand drift down to the waist, let the other one take its place, and stir the clouds, spiraling the energy overhead. And a few turns in each direction. And then relax that hand down. Now let the head remain facing forward, head circles around. So rather than spiraling the hips, now we're spiraling the upper torso around the hips. And a few in each direction. Still breathing naturally. Much of Qigong is done with patterned breathing. This one is a mix of just a pattern and natural breathing. All right, let's come back to rest. Let the hands float down. And let's put it all together. Hands come up overhead. Palms turn toward the sky, receiving the heavenly energy while we feel firmly rooted to the ground. Try not to scrunch up your shoulders. Keep the neck long. You may have to tip your head a little bit forward for that, but think of pushing your head up as you look upward. Just hold here for a few breaths. And then on an exhale, hands begin to float on down. Return all the way to our sides. And just close your eyes. Just remain here in Wuji for a little bit. You might feel a little tingle in the fingers. Close between heaven and earth set by letting our hands come together, hand over hand, place them over the lower belly. Over our lower dantian, let's take 3 long, deep breaths. And one more. As you release that 3rd breath, go ahead, open your eyes, release the hands, give everything a little shake out at the bottom. Thanks for joining me. Happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of yours. Namaste.